Well, in North Africa, dozens of Islamist fighters stormed through the Tunisian town of Ben Guerdan near the Libyan border on Monday, attacking army and police posts in a raid that killed at least 50 people, including civilians. Authorities sealed off the nearby beach resort town of Djerba, a popular destination for foreign and local tourists. Officials also imposed a curfew on Ben Guerdan and close to border crossings with Libya after the attack. It was not clear if the attackers crossed the border from Libya, where Islamist state terrorists have gained ground. Now, for the latest on the Tunisian attackers, Naveena Kottoor, a Tunis-based journalist, joins me live via Skype from Tunis. Good evening, Naveena.
Good evening.
Now, what do we know up to this point about the attackers?
The details are still coming in, but from what we understand, the majority of these attackers started their assault on the town this morning, just before 5 o'clock. They were rampaging, it's reported, through the town, attacking police stations, attacking barracks, but also going after members of the security forces who they knew personally. So it is believed that many of them were Tunisian, but it's not entirely verified. I think we will see these details coming through later in the day.
Now, we've heard that the Tunisian authorities say up to 3,000 Tunisians have crossed the borders and gone to fight either in Syria or in Iraq with ISIS. Is there any evidence that some of them may have come back to attack the homeland?
There have been reports and suggestions making it very clear that in next door Libya, right next to the border to Tunisia, militants who have joined ISIS in the past have actually regrouped, that people are believed to be in towns like Sabratha and Sirte, from where people have been trained and Tunisians have been going to receive military training and have then come back to attack sites in this country. We saw 3 very serious attacks last year by people who the Tunisian authorities say were trained in Libya. In addition to that, the US military recently attacked the town of Sabratha, going after 40 IS militants. The majority of them were Tunisian, and many were expecting some kind of backlash on this side of the border.
Now, how significant is this particular region of Tunisia where the attack happened?
I think it's very significant. It's a very poor part of the country. The majority of the people who have some kind of income make that income from smuggling, from selling smuggled petrol, clothes, food to a certain extent. There's no real economy there. So there has always been some kind of criminal activity. It's also, in many ways, a place where the state is the least present. There are security forces there, but it's not entirely clear how well trained they are and how effective they are at protecting the border, but also providing security to the residents who live there. So that's something many people who live there have been complaining about for the last couple of months.
Very quickly, is it the first time such an attack is happening in that particular region?
There have been attacks on members of the security forces here before over the last couple of years, but I think this is the most serious attack, both in numbers, both in terms of casualty figures, but also in the way this attack unfolded. There's some suggestions that some of the people were residents, that the people who were killed, the members of the security forces, were singled out by people who knew them very well, which is obviously very disconcerting and very new.
Well, Naveena, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Naveena Kottoor reporting live via Skype from Tunis.